This is great. Just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called garbage can, not garbage can't. Oh my god.
I didn't get any sleep last night. I'm getting ready to go. So I grabbed my bag as you kissed me. Well, out of the door. As every step takes me farther from home. I miss you more than the day before. I'm on a holiday. I'm on a holiday. I'm on a holiday to hell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast. I am Dark One Dre, and here with me tonight I have Mr. Wubwave the Thread Father.
Hello.
Mr.
I thought
Fusion.
for sure you were going to say I was last again.
You know what? I didn't want to hear you bitch and piss and moan, so you're first this time. So shut
I
the
was
fuck
wondering
up.
why. I was wondering why he suddenly jumped to the front.
Mr. Fusion.
What's up?
Chaos Mana.
Hello.
And the Mad Queen herself, Lozelda.
Hello.
And she is currently, if you didn't catch this in the intro, eating frosting and Nilla wafers, making me very jealous.
My goal is to get diabetes by the time the podcast ends.
I think there's a very high possibility of that.
Yay. I'm all about making goals, man. It's a new year.
Hit those goals, right? There you go. You know, speaking of, it's kind of funny because this is the time of the year where every single gym in your neighborhood is just filled with cars, right?
Is it?
Yes,
I don't know.
it
I've been
is.
avoiding my gym like the plague.
Yeah, and those of us that are very health fitness oriented, we all take a break for the first 2 weeks of the year instead of jumping onto the year because we know it's much easier for us to just wait it out, and 2 weeks later we'll have our parking spots back because that's how it usually works.
I'm really glad that the place I work now has, like, a gym on site, so, like, I'm sure that'll be
that's the
busier
best.
than normal, but, like, it's not going to get ridiculous like a gym does. But that was my biggest pet peeve when I lived in Chicago and actually went to a gym. It was, like, for the first, like, all of January, I couldn't actually go to the gym. And I would sit there and I would judge people. And instead of being like, good for you for making a good choice, I'm like, none of you fuckers are going to be here as soon as it hits February. So you're just making me miserable right now. And you're going to give up and go back to eating ice cream. And now no one's going to have gained anything from this exercise in futility.
That
My
is
gym
true. That's the way it goes.
My gym is mostly full of old people, and it's actually gone down since the beginning of the year. Maybe they all, like, died off to the cold or something.
Maybe.
I mean, that's why I'm not going, because it's fucking cold outside, and I don't want to have to walk outside into the cold and then, like, have to be in the gym shorts and everything. I could change in the locker room, but I don't see the point in doing that unless I'm, if I'm going from home directly to the gym, I want to wear what I'm going to wear while I'm working out in the car. But it's too cold out there, and I don't want to, like, go into the locker room and have to shovel my shit into one of those lockers and wonder if someone's going to, like, open it when I'm not there and, like, try and steal
Put
my
a
clothes
lock
or
on
something.
Why? Yeah, just use a lock. What is...
That's what they're made for. Like,
I can't
like-
remember the combinations to those damn things. I have to
Get
look
a
at
fucking one with a key!
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
But then he has to keep track of the key.
Do you
Yeah.
have your iPod with you or whatever? Do you have a music player with you of some kind?
No,
when
no,
you
I
work out?
no, I leave that. I lock that up too. Well, I typically leave it in the car because I don't want to put it inside
So-
the locker.
So wait. So when you work out, you're just listening to everyone else's workout sounds?
I
Like
read
all the weird grunting and, like, sweaty noises that people make? That's what you listen to?
It is kind of entertaining, but I focus my attention on reading the captions on Fox News just because watching their faces, not in sync with the words, is really entertaining to me. I've talked about this before. Watching the people on Fox News, they really get into their shit and they have no idea what they're talking about. I'm like, oh my god, she is
I was going
really
to say,
upset.
they really get everything wrong.
Yeah, that's why I just kind of like try and read the captions after the faces have already happened, so they don't quite mesh up. It's really funny. You should try it sometime. Just unplug your headphones and watch, because it's always going right above the treadmill. Just watch for like 5 minutes, and you'll see it's really funny to watch. I said
gotta
watch
just
way too
listen
many
to my
times
music.
just now. I'm in a weird place. I had a migraine this morning, so I took one of those migraine pills that had caffeine and acetaminophen, or however you say it. And that didn't work, so I took another one, and that didn't work. So I took 3, and now I can't really feel anything right now. It's like, everything's quite wonderful. I don't have a headache, but I know for damn well I'm not sleeping tonight.
That's nice.
You'll have to forgive me if I'm a little loopy.
Okay, so I gotta ask this.
Ask away.
So, if you haven't been following, Low Zelda on her stream had a guest a couple nights ago, and I've noticed on Twitter that it seems like he hasn't fucking left. So I'm kind of curious, what exactly happened? Did he just wreck, or did he decide to he didn't want to leave?
I don't understand.
So I just texted him to tell him to come up here. So Ilan was here on Monday. He's currently moving to Austin, and he figured out that for whatever reason, from where he was in Pennsylvania, that stopping here only added like 45 minutes to his drive. Like, the road system is that fucked up that going directly to Austin,
Holy shit.
it only added it like an hour to come here. So he stopped by, and we hung out on Monday night, and he was on my stream, and it was great. And then Tuesday, we both got up, and I went to fucking jury duty, which will be another story we can have later. And he left to start his drive to Texas. And I'm sitting in the little jury room, and I get a text from him, and he's like, hey, I made it out of town in one piece. And I went, yay!
My car did.
And then 20 minutes later, I get a text that says, so you know how I made it out of town in one piece? I'm at a McDonald's in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So you want to say hi to everybody?
Driving Michigan fucking terrible. And it's not even like the roads, like I'm cool with snow, but people fucking suck at driving. It's so god awful.
Yeah.
It is true.
What is happening?
So,
what is this in my ear?
that's the thing, so you can hear everything.
What is happening?
So I got that text, and then immediately got called into a jury pool. So when I got out, I was one of the first people dismissed, but like I said, we'll talk about that later. And so I texted him, he was still stuck at McDonald's, so I went and grabbed him and tried not to crash myself. So you want to tell him like, what happened to you?
So I'm taking something bad happened to your car then.
Okay, so I was worried about getting out of Portage, Michigan, because that's where like snowy shit was going down.
Uh-huh.
But so I got to 94 going towards Chicago, and of course it starts snowing, so it's like, oh, great.
Is
now I have
it
to go
still
do
under
all this
construction
shit.
right now in that section?
No, there's not even a lot of construction. It's just we were not ready for the snow at all because it took so long to show up in the season. So and then it dumped on us in a really short period of time. So
yeah. So anyway, so I was driving, and you know there were people that were scared of the snow, and they were on the right side. They were going like 25. So
Of course.
I was doing a mean 35 on the left lane.
You daredevil.
No, and some motherfucker decides, oh, I'm gonna get on the left lane. Fuck turning signals. There's somebody right behind me. I don't give a fuck. So he just starts going, and it was almost a bad car accident. So me, being the great person that I am, I tried to hit the brakes, forgetting that there's snow on the ground.
Ooh.
And then I wound up on the grass, and then there's a median, and now my car's fucked.
Oh.
I've seen people. We have like the kind of like barrier thing that's like the posts that have the steel cables running through them.
Uh-huh.
Like
yeah, we have those here too.
Okay, so the section that he took out was pretty impressive when we drove back
Yeah,
past
we drove
it.
past it. It was awesome.
It sheared the handles off of the
geez.
doors of his car.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing that could happen.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a thing until I went to go get my shit out of my car, and the guy towing my car was like, oh, by the way, I don't think that door's gonna open, because there's no handle.
Yeah.
Then, sure enough, you know, I touched it, and the window kind of fell down, so I just opened it up anyway.
Yep.
But, yeah.
So, when are you going to get your car back, or is it totaled?
So, here's the thing. This is where it gets even funnier. It's like,
Oh, boy.
hey. But, so, this towing company took it to their lot, and my insurance company was supposed to pick it up yesterday, because they're paying money for it to be there.
But they didn't.
I get a call from the insurance company saying, hey, we don't have important paperwork about your car to get it out.
Say
so
what now?
we need you to call them and release the car to us. So I have no fucking idea.
So the car's not even at the repair shop yet.
What the
It's just
fuck?
it's just hanging out in the tow lot. So yeah, so Alon's been here for the last 2 days, pretty much.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with the dogs.
And to compensate, I've been cleaning the kitchen.
Yes.
My
And he shoveled my driveway,
My
so
hands hurt.
Aw, yeah, you make him work. Make him work for that stay.
Actually, I have to like convince her to let me work.
because I feel bad.
Well, I feel bad that I'm in your house for. First of all, I invited myself here in the first place, and now I'm here for another like 3-4 days.
Yep.
This is like one of those three-part episodes of a bad sitcom where, you try and get rid of a person and you just can't get rid of them. They try and leave and then fate just dumps them back in your lap.
It's one of those from the 80s where they have a special guest and everyone thinks, oh, it's just a one-time shot, and then it's a to be continued. And you're like, really?
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
like, fuck that noise. Why?
Yeah.
This is the
Really?
Like that
continue.
fake sitcom they were making on Seinfeld. Wasn't that the exact premise that like the person now owns the other person? You guys know what I'm
guess.
talking about?
Sure.
I wasn't a Seinfeld fan.
I didn't-
as much
yeah,
as
I don't watch
as
it
much
either.
As I like Zelda's house, I don't think I'm gonna be here forever. Hopefully not. As far as somebody owning me, that's even worse.
So, on the bright side, Lo Link has actually been in Arizona on business, and he wasn't going to, he was going to miss Alon, but now he gets to actually meet him, so yay.
Oh, that's awesome.
That works
Now I
out.
get to pester 2 people. One that doesn't even know me. All right.
Well, he's got to know you through reputation, right?
Yeah, like, he knows who he is, but he's never met him, so.
Yeah.
What'll be funny is if he comes in, he walks in the door, and there's Alon in a bathrobe with like slippers on the
See,
couch.
it's funny. As I
Hey,
was
what's up?
cleaning the kitchen, I had that mental image of him walking in on me cleaning the kitchen.
That
You're
would
like, "Hey,
have been
what's
pretty
up?"
funny. No.
That would have been awesome. It's like, here, honey, I made you dinner.
He doesn't even land for another hour. I think we're good.
Gets to sleep. No, I got my own bed night, so it's cool.
Yeah. He's got a bed. It's all good. It's got an electric blanket on it and everything.
I haven't used that yet.
Oh,
I
why
think I
not?
need to-
It's like the best thing ever.
I think I need to try that eventually.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was
I've,
wishing I
I've,
had one of those earlier today.
I've had a friend.
Gonna need one tonight. In case you haven't heard, that Arctic blast is coming through Texas, so it's the end of days.
Good.
Here tomorrow.
I'm glad I'm not the only one suffering. 2 days ago, it was 70 degrees here. Now
Oh,
it's
fuck
like
you.
barely above freezing.
It was really it was relatively comfortable for the past week, and just all of a sudden it just starting to really dip down, especially tonight.
Oh, see, this is your first Georgia winter, huh? Nice.
I like how you guys are complaining about almost freezing. Like a couple days
It
ago,
was-
it's like -10.
It was -11 for me today. You all
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Oh no! I've been watching my family on Facebook. They were commenting. They commented on me complaining about it being in the high 30s. They're like, because it's a balmy 9 degrees up here in Michigan with a -0 wind chill. This winter wonderland you left. That's why you feel so cold.
See, I have to explain something. In this state, when it dips below 30 degrees, pretty much when it hits freezing point in period, 32 degrees, anything below that, they go into wall-to-wall winter blast coverage. And I'm not joking. Tomorrow morning, one of these television stations will have winter blast 2015.
And they're gonna have like
the-
all those B-rolls of like cars sliding on the
Yes.
street. And
Yeah,
shit.
and I used to work in news for years, and I lived in Austin. And there was one particular winter where we had a week-long like just Arctic blast. It was so bad that the station put me up in a hotel next door to the station for the entire week, so I could be on standby because other part-timers or other producers and people couldn't make it in. I would at least be able to come in and do everything if I had to, do news, run the station, traffic, weather, everything, because I could do it all. Well, one morning, it was really bad in particular. I think it was the second day that this storm hit. And just past our station, if you've been in Austin and the gentleman that's about to move to Austin will know this because he's going to be living in Round Rock. But on the way out of town, there's turnarounds that are really sharp, and they're going downhill. Well, with black ice in Texas, black ice is a very common thing. These people didn't understand how to manage it, and I'm not kidding. I had a handheld camera, and I'm sitting there recording about 20 cars, just bam, 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 like collecting just a pile of them, and it was just amazing watching that.
That's so terribly awesome. I would do the same thing. In fact, I might do that this year. If we do get a nice, decent freeze, I'm going to try and do that this year. Just watching people last year when we got snow, like play bumper cars, was hilarious. And like, it was last year. We had people like just getting out of their vehicles on the side of the road on the highway. They just abandon their cars and walk away. Like, seriously, guys, what are you doing? No, get back in your car.
The best is when they're accelerating and they realize that they're going too fast, and to correct that, instead of going too fast, they're going to slam on the brakes to go too slow, as if that will correct the problem, and it makes it worse, and they spin out of control, and they end up hitting the barricade or the wall or something, and it's It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly why once it snows, even though I know I'm still capable of driving it, which I proved the last time I was in Michigan in the wintertime, I can still drive in it, that I will not, because I know nobody else in this fucking state can. I'm just like, nope, I'm
So
gonna
yeah,
stay
so you don't
safe.
want to be a victim of the other people going crazy.
Exactly.
It reminds me of, I think if this was in 2003, there was a day in Austin where it had been sleeting and raining throughout the day, and the morning started off freezing, and then it warmed up a little bit into like the low 40s, and then about 5 o'clock, this Arctic blast came in, and within like an hour, it dropped from 40 to like 27 degrees. So basically, everything was freezing on the spot, and I mean, I had to drive. I lived in San Marcos, which is about 30 minutes south of Austin, and about an hour before the front came through, those of us that lived out of town were like, "Can we leave early?" And I worked in a collections place, and if you've never worked in a call center for collections, they're assholes about everything. They're dictators. Oh no, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. No, it's gonna be fine. Traffic will be fine. And then of course, when the storm hits, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close. Y'all can go ahead and go home. Well, fuck you, man. So I'm driving, and I'm not kidding. As I'm driving, the water that's on my doors is freezing, like on the spot. I couldn't get out right away because by the time I got to my apartment, the door had frozen shut. But while I'm driving, I'm feeling like the water just like turn into ice on the road, and I go from driving to sliding to driving to sliding to driving to sliding for about 30 miles. And while I'm doing that, I'm going at a slow pace. I'm watching cars hauling ass, trucks zooming by like, dude, I've got this, and then they end up flipping and turning. I saw some mayhem that day. It was amazing.
There was times when I was driving with my parents, and like it would be like snow and shit, and then someone would zoom past and just like flipped off onto the road, and they just crashed. Yeah, they're dead now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't say, but when they act like assholes like that, it's like, I don't know.
like,
I don't really feel bad.
Yeah, they kind of have it coming. If you're going that fast in dangerous road conditions, like, karma, guys.
You just drive by and go, "I'm glad you're dead," and then you just keep going.
Look at it this way: one less dangerous driver on the road. The more they thin themselves out, the better. Just hope they don't take anyone with them.
Exactly.
Oh, good. Lazelda's back from her little dog emergency. Welcome back, Lazelda.
I set the thing so that way I could leave discreetly and come back discreetly. It doesn't
No, we
work
have to
if
put
you
you on the
announce
spot.
it.
I had to call you out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If you don't announce it, you don't get animated videos from it.
Or he was going to make a comment that you had to go poop or something, so just at least...
Yeah, I did clarify it was a dog emergency, unless the dog would poop in the house. Was it a poop emergency?
It was a poop emergency. It's just, for the dog, so... Yeah.
So what did you decide to name the dog? Have you picked that name?
I haven't decided anything yet because Jeff has not met the dog yet. So I picked him up after he had already left for his business trip thing. So I have some ideas in my head, but I want to wait till he can come home and kind of get to know him and stuff before we do anything. So
I'm still voting for Tucker.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for too, and I can say that because he's not going to hear this before we make a decision, so he doesn't have to know that I said it already. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I think it would fit
Are
really
you sure you
well.
don't want to just keep going for the theme and just have your little dog be Navi?
the dog's a boy, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Navi's not a boy name. I mean, it could be, I guess.
Never mind the fact, like you say, keep it with the theme, but like Griff's already not in the theme, so now you just want me to exclude the first one. That's pretty.
I think he wants you to change his name,
That's pretty
too.
mean of you.
Yeah,
You
just
could-
rename the first one. They don't know. They're dogs.
You could change Griff's name to Tingle.
Exactly.
No, God, no, I fucking hate Tingle. Tingle's the worst goddamn character ever.
Aw, you don't mean that.
No, I do mean it.
No.
I totally mean it. If Tingle died in a fire, I would celebrate. I'd make smoke signals to tell everyone how glorious it is.
Oh, come on. Why are you hating on Tingle? What did he ever do to you?
Did you play Wind Waker?
No, not Wind Waker. I know him from the other versions of the game.
There you go. You play
Wait,
Wind
what's it-
Waker, and you would murder Tingle with a fiery
Ooh.
passion.
They have the Wind Waker HD version on the Wii U, don't they?
Yes, they do. Play that and then murder Tingle.
I can buy that.
I can buy
Okay,
that.
I will. Well, we just got it. I picked up a new game for the Wii U this last weekend. Ken and I, we went to GameStop and we're like, we need to get the new Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8, and oh my god, it's even better than I remember playing it at a friend's house. I love it. Like, if any of you guys have a Wii U, you need to, like, tell me what your little online, I don't know what they call it, gamer tag, whatever
It
the
seems
fuck
like
Nintendo
they
calls it.
stopped doing the friend codes. They're attempting to do what Xbox and PlayStation have, their little friend names. I don't know if it has a name yet, but yeah, you're actually getting assigned to your own account now.
Something. Nintendo's trying desperately to get with the times. I encourage them to try harder, but we know they won't listen. They're going to do their own thing. But as much as I suck at the game, I actually came in first place on both of the Star Road, both of the Star Road maps. So I felt pretty proud of myself for that. I'm like, okay, I may suck really bad on the really easy courses, but on the hard ones, I still dominate. It's awesome. It's literally the only one I came in first place.
Do you and Ken race a lot then?
Wait, Webwave, you don't know what Wind Waker is? Really?
No, I'm just trolling in the.
Okay, I just wanted to be certain.
I don't. Oh, there's a conversation going on over on the other side. Stop it!
Yeah, we're having our own conversation. You guys continue
Okay.
about your
So, I
cartoons or
know
whatever.
I've been gone for quite a while, and
Yeah, I thought you got abducted by aliens or something.
or something. Yeah, I had a few things going on. I bought Destiny, bought and was disappointed with Master Chief Collection. Still am.
Wait, why are you disappointed? Well, tell me after you tell us why you're gone.
Had a vital organ taken out of my body. Let's see.
Is it vital though? If you can get it removed, it's not that vital.
Dude, you have no idea what your thyroid does. It regulates all the hormones.
You're
in your
exactly
body.
right. I have no idea what the thyroid does.
Okay.
It's removed, but now he's got to be on a medication that essentially replaces it for the rest
Yeah.
of his life. So
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, a
every
vital
morning
organ
at
is like
6
a
o'clock, I have
heart
to take this
and a
little
brain.
yellow pill.
Like,
and
you
if I
can't
don't
take
take it,
medication
I'm
for a heart.
fucked for the rest of the day.
Well, do you think maybe in 10 years they'll be able to grow you a new thyroid from stem cells or something?
Yeah, but I based on what underlying conditions I have, it's not recommended I have a thyroid at all, because the likelihood of cancer coming back is
What
increased.
if they build like an artificial hormone injector? You could have that, right?
Yeah, but whatever. I mean,
what the fuck do you mean an artificial hormone injector? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like a
A
replacement
robotic
for a
thyroid
thyroid. Like,
that
just
can't
have
get
like an
cancer
intravenous
is what he's
way
trying
of...
to say.
Yeah, you know. I was gonna say a cybernetic thyroid, but that didn't really make sense.
I mean, they do technically have implantable things
Yeah.
that you can just load with whatever medication you want and like set
Yeah.
and be like, okay, you'll release this often over this period of time,
Exactly.
blah blah blah.
Get one of those.
Without getting
but aren't
too-
those usually for like pain?
Yeah.
Just
They
repurpose it.
can be for pain. They can be for there's some seizure management medications
Oh,
that they use
okay,
it
yeah,
for
yeah.
and things like that.
Some diabetics.
Yeah, all kinds. It can be used for all kinds of things. Because there's
See, 'cause-
different ones. There are like essentially pain pumps that are for pain management kind of things. But there's a
Yeah.
separate one that can be used that is fully implantable. And then they just like have to, depending on what the medication is and how often it needs to be released and how much, they'll just like have to. There's like a little
Yeah.
port they can get to that's closer to the skin, and so they just like refill it from there every.
Yeah,
I don't know how
my
many months.
my dad was in talks to have one until he had his surgery last week. So that was it was very interesting. So basically, you mean to tell me I can have a pump that just shoots in painkillers? Yeah. It sounds very exciting, but I'm gonna have the surgery instead.
Yeah,
so.
without getting into too much detail, that was a good choice.
Yeah.
I know way too much about how both those different kinds of pumps function and all the bad things that can happen with them. And if you ever have the choice, just don't do that. It's worth it just to have to do the daily bullshit yourself to not have those things in you.
So
No
to
way.
answer Wubb's
Go full
question, yes,
cyborg.
I have to take a pill every day to replace the thyroid hormone that's not being produced in my body. If not, I can fall into a coma and die.
I still wouldn't say vital.
How
I mean,
long?
it's
Well, how
important.
long? So, is it dangerous? Like, if you had missed
No,
a day?
no. You're
what are
talking
the
about
chan-
everyone's
okay.
different. It's how your metabolism works. Your thyroid speeds up and slows down your metabolism. It helps produce other hormones in your body. Regulates your immune system, which is primarily in your stomach, and if you and it also can cause inflammation in your muscles if you're having issues. So if I don't take my pill, I'll just be really I'll feel like I haven't slept in like a week for the whole day. because I will have no energy. But that's if I miss it once or twice. But if I miss it for more than like say a month or so, then I'll start bottoming out.
Oh.
Oh, well, Mr. Fusion, I can.
Well, that's an incredible amount of.
Well,
Yeah,
I hope
you have
you
to be
can rest
really
ass-
retarded to miss it for a month.
Yeah, you'd have to like do that intentionally.
Well,
or something.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The day of my surgery, they gave me what's called T3, basically to not get too into it. But your thyroid produces a chemical called T4, and your body converts it to T3, which is the energy that your body uses is T3. Because a month after my surgery, I was supposed to have radioactive iodine therapy. They didn't want me taking thyroid replacement, so no T4 for me. So they just gave me T3 to give me energy for the first 2 weeks, and then the 2 weeks after that, I would have to be off of everything. So for 2 weeks until my iodine therapy, I wouldn't have any type of thyroid hormone, so I was going to be miserable for those 2 weeks. But after my surgery, a week later, we went to go see my endocrinologist, and she and the surgeon talked it over, and they felt there was no need for the therapy because the tumors had shrunk significantly, so there was no need. They felt that they got the tumors out completely, all the cancer out completely, so there was no need to do the therapy. Just to show you how scary it is, the pill, and I know Lozelda and I have had private discussions about this, but the pill alone was going to cost me $2,500 for the radioactive iodine.
That is steep.
Yeah. So
Like, insurance wouldn't cover that?
They would cover a portion of it, but then there's also the work the hospital has to do. Like I have to be in the way that this hospital did it, I would be in quarantine for just a couple of hours, and then if I didn't have any reactions, they send me home, and I had to be away from everybody for like 2 or 3 days, and that's it. But the pill, when we went to go see the doctor, the nurse brings out a form that says, okay, the pill's going to cost to start. Let me clarify. To start would be $2,500. We're like, holy shit. And so we were like, okay, you got to sign this form. If you don't show up, we just charge your card to $2,500 for the pill, because they pay for it up front. The hospital does. But then she said, okay, you're going to meet with your endocrinologist. Why am I not meeting with the RAI doctor? Oh, you'll find out in a minute. And when my endocrine came in, she said, okay, well, just so you know, you don't have to have it done. We're done. It's over. So it was a relief not to have to do the that whole next step, but it was also a relief on my pocketbook, because by this point we've been paying quite a bit on a lot of stuff. These doctor's appointments, x-rays, MRIs, blood work, hospital stay, it was getting a little pricey, so.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that completely.
I was glad, but yes, to just come back full circle, I have to take this little pill every day, and if I don't, I feel like shit, like really bad, so.
Well, let me assure you, Mr. Fusion, that should you happen to slip into a coma and die, I will personally go up there and I will write the most beautiful eulogy for you, and I will have people crying their eyes out for you, okay?
I don't want them crying their eyes out for me.
No, this is for me. I'm going to make them cry their eyes out because I'm going to give such a pretty eulogy. You just sit there.
Or you can just do like a roast or something.
No,
make
as
them
long
laugh.
as he sings Dust in the Wind, like old school.
Yeah.
We'll finish
all
the
I ask.
eulogy up with Dust in the Wind after.
Okay,
after all that.
that's fine. Okay, that'll work.
Okay. Yeah, that's, if we have to end it on a personal note, but as long as I get my moment to deliver the most beautiful eulogy ever given, I'm good with this.
Okay, that's
you better
cool.
be too.
You've been given carte blanche.
Awesome.
Have you,
All right,
Doug,
now,
have you taken public speaking before?
I have, yes.
Oh.
So, you were
Did not
going
nail
to
it.
so you were going to tell us why you didn't like the Master Chief edition.
Okay.
I need to know this because I wanted to buy it up until you just said this.
Well, I mean, now it's gotten a little better, but for the longest time there were a lot of issues with matchmaking, really bad issues, and I know it's improved, but every time I try to play still, I get issues constantly. It'll take me a couple minutes to get into a match, and there are times where the match was about to start and I'm kicked out. And it just made me very mad because that whole deal, when my wife bought the Xbox for me, it came with Unity, and we all know how Unity was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
So it just made me really mad that these big titles now we're not holding the publishers' their feet to the fire, man, because everyone's buying games, alpha stage, beta stage. They're buying them ad nauseum, and these publishers are like, okay, we'll put out a half decent product at best,
And call it the finished version.
and call it a
though.
finished version, and then expect you to buy the rest of the content and everything else. And day one at release, there's a 20 gigabyte patch to correct some of the mistakes that they could catch.
Wait, you're exaggerating. 20 gigs? You're not
It was
serious.
a 20 gig. Master Chief was a 20 gig, wasn't it? I thought so.
I think wasn't it the thing was that the patch caused it to re-download the entire game? Like
Yes.
it was a bug with the patch to fix the bug.
What
Yes.
the fuck? Okay, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So 343 is on my shit list right now. I have not played
Maybe-
the game in about 2-3 weeks. I've been playing Destiny nonstop, and hey, I know everyone says it's kind of a redundant game, but most of these first-person shooters are redundant. But I've had fun with Destiny.
Maybe they're just really retro with the Master Chief Collection and bringing it back to the original Xbox Live style of matchmaking.
Okay. So your complaint is mostly with the matchmaking online feature. The actual
Now,
single player experience is still
Let me
good.
clarify. The single play campaign is fun. It's
Okay.
fun.
Because that's the main reason why I want to get it. Because Ken has not played any of the Halos. He played part of one of them, but he hasn't played any of them. So I'm like, I want to get this eventually whenever I do get an Xbox One, and I want to be able to play through all the games with him. But did they allow co-op for the first game?
I can't answer that because I haven't even looked into that. I've just
Combat Evolved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
I think so. I haven't. I would assume so because they have all of the old maps and I think so. Yeah.
Because I don't remember. I
yeah.
remember trying to load.
They do.
They do.
Yeah, because I remember watching a sponsor play of the Halo remake, and they were doing co-op online, I believe.
Okay. Well, I meant local co-op.
I assume so.
Because then I don't want to have to buy 2 Xbox Ones and 2 copies of the Master Chief Collection just to play co-op.
If they had it on the original game, I would assume that they would have split screen.
That's the thing. I don't remember if it was on the original game. The original game
They
came
did.
out so long ago.
Well,
Yeah, they
I,
had-
I
it was,
played the
uh,
original
I think
on
because of
PC,
how popular co-op has been, that they would have added it in anyway, even if it wasn't in there to begin with.
But there was what was it, like Master Chief, and then the fan name was like Linda Chief was the unnamed clone that would always run around.
Linda Chief.
Yeah,
Oh.
they had co-op in Combat Evolved.
Oh, and, I also have on an unrelated note, but in a still gaming note. Ken has finally beaten Mass Effect 2. He did this yesterday.
Okay, so now he's on 3, right?
Yes, we just downloaded all of the necessary DLC to make it a more enjoyable experience last night. We kept the Xbox on all night to download the updates.
There's a lot.
Okay. How long did it take him to finish 2?
I don't remember. He played a lot of it by himself because he got tired of me watching him play. He's like, "This is a very personal matter. Stop watching me play." I'm like, "But I want to see what you do." But he wouldn't let me. I know it took him probably, if I had to guess, I would say it probably took him around 40 hours. Somewhere in that
That's
ballpark.
not too bad, especially
And,
for a
You
game
guys
like
had a
that.
bone.
It was either somewhere around 40 or 50 hours. Somewhere in that ballpark would be perfectly safe, I'd say.
I think I was around 50 just because I was dicking around so long. 2 was just a great game.
Yeah, he got most of the DLC for that one. But he downloaded all the content before he started the game, and so he played it a little bit out of order. He played all of the DLC content before he actually got most of his crew. So it was a little bit weird, and it felt really disproportionate. He was complaining afterwards, it felt like all I did was just pick up a bunch of people, and then the game ended. I'm like, well, if you would have picked up everybody first, and
he
then
did
did
the
the
quest
Shadow
out of
Broker,
order.
and then did everything, but you did all the cool stuff at the very beginning of the game before you had anybody to play with. So yeah, that's just kind of did it out of order. So sorry about
I have
that.
a bone to pick with EA because this reminds
Don't
me. It was a
we
couple
all?
weeks. It was a couple. I think it was a couple weeks before Christmas, and I had money in my pocket, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy Mass Effect 3, the deluxe edition. And I go there, and it rejects my code, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I go through all these steps, and I eventually try to go to the customer service page, and the customer service page is a broken link, and it says the page doesn't exist. So I'm like,
Oh, I remember seeing you post that in a journal or something.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Terrible.
And so I'm like, you know what, EA? Fine, fuck you. I'm not going to do it. I went and I pirated all the DLC for Mass Effect 2, even though I already owned it, and pirated Mass Effect 3. Fuck you, EA. I'm still mad. Weeks later.
Great. Now,
I
now
haven't played
the
Mass Effect 3 yet.
now the EA's secret police are going to listen to this podcast and they're going to come and arrest you for pirating their.
Well,
their material.
it's pirating,
Maybe
but
the
already
secret web
owning it at the
designer
same
should
time.
fix their link.
So it's just like it's directly
Okay, so-
it's out of spite, I guess.
Yeah, it's pirating just for spite.
Now,
Except for Mass Effect 3.
before we get too far off
Alright,
topic,
go.
I'm kind of I'm going to tell you what happened, what Ken's experience was at the end. He only lost Morden, out of everything. He didn't look up any like cheats on or walkthroughs on what to do. So he wound up losing Morden. And he's gonna live with that consequence through the third game, just because he doesn't want to cheat and go through it. What did you guys do when you guys completed the second game? Did you lose anybody, or did you cheat and look up what you needed to do? What was your guys' experience?
I played Mass Effect 2 multiple times, and I'm actually replaying it off and on now.
Talking about the first time.
Oh, the first time, I think I lost, what's her face? The Cerberus lady. I completely... Miranda. Like, she died because I sided with Jack, and...
She's a bitch anyway, so...
Yeah, she's alright. Yeah, it's like, she's dead.
Hey, Miranda's hot.
Except that face. Her face kind of looks... They talk about how sexy she is, but her face does look an awful lot like Michael Jackson.
If you do her right, you don't need to look at her face. It's totally fine.
Hey, you know what? The lady in the group, she's brilliant. Sorry, guys. She's brilliant. I mean, seriously.
Come on, guys, get with the program.
We're wrapping it up. Show's over. No, seriously. Who did I lose?
I can't...
God. Now I have to go look at the characters' names now.
I lost Tally, too.
Oh,
No,
I
not
can't-
Tally.
sad.
I was actually upset about that one. I was like, no! And then Miranda died. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Tally's dead. Like, die quietly.
I lucked out. My first run through, I didn't lose anybody.
Oh, you bitch!
I know. I was so pumped. It was great. But then, of course, when I go into Mass Effect 3, I'm like, no, I know people have to die now, and this is gonna be terrible. If I
Yeah,
just
three,
let them,
they're all dropping like flies.
yeah, I was like, if I let them die in 2, I'd be able to spread it out a little bit.
spread out the emotion.
I
Yeah,
can't remember if it was Morden or the Geth the first time, but I'm pretty sure it was Morden because I was like actually like really sad that the way that he died. I was like, oh, it just happened out of nowhere. I was like, no, no, I think it was the Geth the first time. Legion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legion.
I was like trying to like I didn't look up any walkthroughs. The second time through, I actually was like, okay, how do you do this for real? But the first time, yeah, I was trying to protect everyone, do the mission the way it was, and then just out of nowhere he gets like sniped by the people. I think it was like as they're trying to close the door.
Let's see, my Legion, I lost Legion too, but he didn't get sniped. He got taken, I had Jack doing the mental barrier, what do you call it, the barrier thing with all the little bugs.
Oh, and he got taken
And-
by the...
Yeah, he got taken by the swarm.
He
And,
should be fine. He's a robot. Like,
That's what I thought too, but no, he died. We had his little body on display inside the ship and everything, inside a
just
casket.
put like LoJack on him and just track him down after the mission. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I saw him get carried away by the nanobot swarm, but we had a coffin for him. That made no sense to me.
I have to ask you a question because I didn't lose anybody. They actually show everybody dead in their coffins at the end?
yeah, they have
Yeah.
like a line of coffins
Oh
of
my
everyone
god, that would
that's
be
dead.
so depressing. I'm so glad I didn't
Yeah,
have to experience
And
that.
Shepard runs his hand over the coffin, all sad like
I can't-
mourning the
Um,
loss
what-
of
glad
his
that didn't
comrade.
happen. Never mind.
Would he do anything different, especially if it was a romantic interest?
I don't know. I didn't lose my romantic interest.
I wouldn't do anything
on the
different.
first-
It saved everybody. I like my
On the
method.
first playthrough, did you guys have a romance? I'm assuming most of you did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
I didn't. I was busy saving the galaxy, you
See-
selfish fucks.
I had a romance with Liara in the first game, but because she wasn't in the second game, not part of the crew, I'm like, well, my Shepard still needs to get laid. It's been 2 years. He needs to get laid. So,
Saving the galaxy
he-
is stressful. You got to get off every once in a while.
yeah, exactly. But I was...
Get off on murdering mercenaries. I mean, what?
I intended on... I didn't intend on him actually getting together with Miranda, but I accidentally made a wrong dialogue choice that I thought was just going to be reassuring to her, but it was totally
Right.
flirtatious, and she's like, "Oh, are you admiring my body now?" And I'm like,
You know you can turn her down, right? Like,
"Yeah," but
Twice,
at
I
that
think.
point in time, I'm like, "Well, Sure, why not? I'll go ahead and go with this. I'll flirt.
Your description of the situation perfectly highlighted exactly what would happen in a real life scenario. You're in a confined space. Everyone's under high stress. Just being nice is like instantly like, hey, you want to bang? Like any nicety. Like, here, let me hold the door for you. Take your clothes off. Like that's what that would be like.
Yeah. Oh, and then I totally felt like an asshole, though, in the third game because Liara's back, and I have to tell her, I'm sorry, I'm not with you anymore. And then at that point in time, you can have the relationship with Caden, and I'm like, oh, well, my shepherd, I want him to be gay now. So I had to break it off with Miranda, and she winds up like walking away feeling all depressed and doesn't tell me about this shit going down with her sister, and then she winds up dying. I'm like, oh my god, I feel like such a terrible person.
You should have chose like Tally or someone in the second game. That way you made the full gauntlet of. Oh wait, no, you had Liara, so you had an alien, a human female, and a human male.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to admit, in 3, because my guy hooked up with Miranda. Okay, I have to say this. I have to clarify. The first playthrough, he hooked up with Miranda. The second playthrough, somehow, Jack started hitting on me, and I immediately pressed reset on the fucking. I was
you know
so
you're doing
grossed out.
something wrong when Jack is trying to get in your pants.
I was like, I don't know what I did, but obviously I fucked up. But anyway, so I kept the save with Miranda, and of course she lived through the playthrough, through the end of the game. And in 3, the funny part is I got my groove on with Ashley in 3, okay? There's a scene where there's a part where all 3 are together, and I was just like, well, isn't this awkward? This is just so...
like,
and I think that was...
all
I think
three of
I think it's in my head now. I think there was some dialogue that they made it awkward. And you're
They
just
did
like,
that with Tally as
okay.
well.
Like, they
if
know.
you've been
Yeah, it's like,
romance
alright.
with Liara and then Tally, and in the third game, when they're both going on a mission with you, they have this really like passive aggressive fight while you're going off to the mission.
Nice.
I had that too because I accidentally romanced Liara in the first one.
accidentally romanced
no,
Liara.
You can
was
say
actually
no.
accidentally.
Like,
Her-
everyone's like, oh yeah, it was an accident. Like, you can say no.
No,
That's
but
what
that's,
you like.
that's the problem. Is you can't. Her dialogue is glitched. I said no, but if you talk,
okay.
if you just talk to her first, and even if you say no, it counts as a yes in the system. So you
Like,
have to talk to the other person first.
So no means
yes means yes and no means yes.
Yeah, because I was really confused. 'Cause I said no to her, and I said yes to fucking Caden, because that was a dumb decision. But it still locked me in with Liara because her dialogue is bugged. So fuck
Did your
you
shepherd
with your
get
insistence
sexually
to say no.
assaulted? Like,
was
is
that?
that what you're telling? Yeah, is that what you're telling us right now? Is that your shepherd got sexually assaulted by Liara? Like,
Pretty much. So, because here's the way the first game worked: is I didn't realize that had happened until it's that final scene where whoever you're in a romance with like shows up at your room before all the shit goes down. So I'm playing the game. Liara shows up at the door, and I yell, "Fuck! I'm a lesbian!" And my husband's like, "What? What's going on?"
He's all running
He
in.
had no
Falls
idea.
down. Like, hold on, wait.
it's not gay if it's aliens, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
So I romanced her in the first game. I romanced the shit out of Garrus in the second game, and then I stuck with Garrus in the third game and had to turn Liara down. And I always pair them together on missions. They're like my favorite combination to like wreck shit. So and so they had all kinds of like, awkward encounters and
more than
conversations,
one?
too. And I'm like, oh,
I have to admit, it's hard not to develop a man crush on Garrus.
yeah,
Dude,
Garrus is fucking
He is
the
a
best
smooth
character.
motherfucker,
I
man.
played through my first playthrough of Mass Effect 2 just so I could have sex with Garrus. I completely understand.
It's such a great romance option. It's funny and it's sweet and it's terrible and it just makes you laugh.
It's like
and it's
he's like,
awesome.
I need to do some research because I don't know what to do.
The best part of doing a romance with Garrus is what Morden says about it. That is the
doesn't he
beautiful
say you need
thing.
like you get like an irritation of some sort?
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that-
so like, I
Yes.
guess Morden will give all
Yeah,
kinds
depending
of
on who
advice,
you're actually
like,
with.
like for whatever pairing and you end up with. Yeah.
Whether you want it or not.
But
he's gonna
pretty
give you
much,
that.
yeah. The Garrus one is, especially if you keep poking him and like make him keep talking about it. It's just like it actually reached my maximum awkward level that I can put up with. I was like, I don't know if I can listen anymore. Like this
What's
is this
the
is too much.
name of the Drell? What's his name? Oh, Thane. Like
I didn't
when
like
you talk
Thane.
to yeah, he
at
was
all.
deep and brooding. Is not my type. But I know like when you talk to Morton about it, he goes like, "Yeah, they excrete like this chemical. So if you lick him, you're gonna be tripping balls for hours."
I don't think Morton said tripping balls, but I'm liking imagining that he did.
He said it really
awesome.
fast.
Saying it in
no,
there. You're going to be tripping balls.
They excrete a chemical in your skin. It's very toxic. You're gonna be tripping balls, Shepard. And you're like, wait, what? What, Morton? And he's like,
Oh,
what?
God.
And you're like, no.
You know, one of my favorite lines. It wasn't a romance line. Well, okay, two of my favorite lines. First one was a romance line. When Garrus is being super awkward when you're getting ready to get laid, and you have the option to do the Paragon thing and just interrupt him like,
dear.
"Listen, Garrus, shut the hell up before you embarrass yourself." So I really liked that. And but my favorite line actually was in the third game after Miranda died, and you find Tally getting drunk, drinking
port.
through her emergency induction port.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's a straw. She's like, no, it's an emergency induction port. She gives this whole little speech. It's in multiple parts, but you have to keep on clicking on her. But she winds up calling her, like, damn you genetically superior Cerberus cheerleader. Keela Silai.
In Mass Effect 3,
yeah.
I think if you don't romance Garrus and Tally, they'll get together.
Yep, that is true. They get
Yes.
together.
Yes.
And if you don't romance Garrus, I think you can help
there's
get him
another-
laid, like during the Citadel DLC, with another Turian female.
Yeah, you can help with that.
Yeah.
But if you are in a romance with him, that whole scene is fucking fantastic.
Wait,
oh my
what?
god. So if you are in a romance with Garrus and you're at the bar where you would normally have the option to get him to hook up with the Turian female, instead you would do like some like tango dance with him, and if you renegade interrupt every time it gives you the chance, it's the best. That is my favorite part of all of Mass Effect, is just that section. Like, it was that good. It's hilarious. It's hilarious and it's awesome. And you should.
I was with Tally the first
Okay.
time,
DLC in
and
general
then
was
the
fun.
drunk
Yeah, that
Tally
DLC was
was
just
amazing in the Citadel DC. Just how many different stuff that happened.
Oh yeah,
You're the
drunk everybody.
shoom.
I like Vega egging on the biotics. He's like, "Come on!" He's like, "Just float me over the balcony."
Oh, that's what I should do. I still have my save from my first playthrough of Mass Effect 2 where I was Fem Shepard and I hooked up with Garrus. Now that I've got all the downloadable content for Mass Effect 3 for Ken's playthrough, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to port my game of Fem Shepard, and so I can go through the third game as her.
Do
That's
that.
what I'm going to do.
Citadel, and I'm telling you right now, when you meet him at the bar, save it before you meet him at the bar so you can see it both ways. And do one that's just let things happen, whatever. But do it again and hit every interrupt option it gives you.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
Did any of you play Dragon Age Origins?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I really liked it, actually.
I mostly played it. I have been sitting outside the keep for like months now. I got all the way up to the last battle and I just never went and did it.
It's supposed to be really hard. But the reason I bring it up is because of the romance options in that game. Like,
Well, you
Oh,
could be
yeah.
a slut in that game.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you
you
can.
But,
I liked
like,
it so much. No,
what's the one character, Morgana, the witch?
Yes.
I killed an entire tower of mages to impress her. I feel really bad now that I think about it. Like, she's like, yeah, you shouldn't help these guys. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't do this. Like, yeah.
Everything's
You're so
on
smart and shitty.
fire!
And then, like, the mages are like, dude, we're under attack. And you're like, no. I'm agreeing with her. Like, she knows what she's doing. Right, Morgana? Like, yeah.
See,
We're all dead.
I played that when it first came out, and I thought it was amazing. And then I downloaded it and have tried playing it again, and I actually find it kind of boring now, just because the combat system is pretty much non-existent. You just kind of click and say, okay, attack. And then he just automatically hacks away at something, and you can switch positions with someone else and say, okay, now you attack. And
Yeah,
they'll do
it's
that. And they're like,
definitely,
okay,
like-
now use your special ability. I'm like, I don't remember why I think this game was so awesome. I know the story is awesome, but the gameplay, dear God,
overrides
the
the
gameplay
story
is
when
so
it be-
boring.
Comes as drolling as that.
Yeah.
Destiny.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, my
just
issue
said
with it is
Destiny.
I'm one of those completionist people, not like
Ah.
achievements or anything like that. I cannot leave a side quest undone, which is so that like Mass
But
Effect
there's
is okay.
so much side content in that game. It's impossible to do it all.
Well, see, you say that, but that's why I never did the final battles, because by the time I finally got through it all, I'm like, I'm so done with this game. And I hate inventory management. That was like my biggest complaint about Mass Effect 1, and I hated it in Dragon Age.
Yeah, this game is all about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I hate doing this. Like, I would just sit down and be like, all right, I have 2 hours. I'm just gonna sit down and go through my whole inventory, figure out what's similar and what I can get rid of, and do that. And it was.
What about like Skyrim and Fallout? Do you have problems with those?
I never played either of them, so I don't have a problem with them whatsoever.
You've never played Fallout?
No,
Dude.
I didn't really care for Fallout
After
that much, but I love Skyrim.
after playing Skyrim and Oblivion,
I do
and
get it.
Morrowind,
I just thought the world was boring.
When I attempted to start Fallout, it just wasn't quite the same. Not the same fantasy rush as.
Yeah. It's like all boring and post-apocalyptic, and I'm like, oh, Yawnsville, okay.
How
whatever.
far did you get into it though?
I played it
if you
for
did-
I played
like
it
if you-
for about probably 25 or 30 hours.
Oh, okay, so you got a good deal of it then.
Yeah, I had fun, but after a while I'm just like, okay, I don't really feel like going back to that world anymore. Whereas Skyrim, after I would give it a break, and then I'd be like, I really want to run around in the world of Skyrim or Morrowind or wherever, whichever game. All three of the Elder Scrolls games. Like after a while, I'm like, I want to go back there, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kill things. I'm gonna steal their gold and their loot, and I'm gonna have a good time. And I did. And so I would
keep
always
on
go
wanting
back,
to.
but
I'm really
with
excited.
Fallout,
I don't
I'm
know
like,
if it's finished yet,
nah,
but
I
like
don't really
all
wanna go
like the
back.
Skywind mods and other stuff, giving the games that
It's not
another
done yet.
extra
I
step,
I
because
just checked on it
Morrowind,
again
while it
last
is very
week.
great, is still slightly dated to me. Even though that's one of the games I had one of the most fun. If they give it a remake, it's the equivalent
it's
of the
very
them releasing
dated.
a remake almost.
Very dated.
That would make it that much better. Like I had so much fun, and I'd love to go back into that world and play all these games because it's just random exploring all the quests. I like each of them for many different reasons.
Well, Oblivion is done, and you can download that. It'll give you the exact same experience of Morrowind. There's no voice acting or anything, but you get the same experience of Morrowind, but with Xbox 360 style graphics, or a little bit better on the PC, of course. But the Skyrim version of Morrowind is not done yet, which will, of course, look even better. But you can still play using the Morroblivion patch.
Yeah, I just recently
and
got
completely get that
the
full
Oblivion
experience there.
Morrowind for this recent Christmas, so I'm gonna probably be installing those games soon. But yeah. No, I played Morrowind. That was I played Morrowind when I first started. It was just
then?
I don't really think I'm gonna like this game. I got it in one of those all together game bins that you find just really cheap games, and it was like this little bundle pack. So I was like, I'm not gonna really play this. I messed around, and it did nonsense. I was like,
okay.
hey, I actually kind of like this game, so I ended up playing it for a long time, even though it was only on the original Xbox. What?
Oh my god, Wubwave, really?
No.
In the chat, he's like, "What's Morrowind? Some kind of anime?" You know what, Webwave? You go and impale yourself on an icicle.
I asked the same thing about
He said
Wind
the same-
Waker.
Yeah, he said the same thing about Wind Waker a minute ago. Or a minute ago, 30 minutes ago. Whatever. Time is relative. Shut up.
Yeah, time dilation. and stuff.
None of us
Someone
said
broke
anything.
Zelda.
Are you arguing with yourself?
No, leave me alone.
Have the
I'll have to
Twitter
answer
problems?
you.
Have the Twitter problems already moved on to your real life now?
My wine glass is empty again.
That is a tragedy. That is
I
the
feel
tragedy.
so lost.
Is Little Link gonna arrive to you
need to call
cradling
someone?
back
No,
and
okay.
forth with
Yeah, we
Elon
need to call-
not
we need
knowing
to
what to
call,
do?
Elon, get her some wine.
Elon's no help. He's just gonna run into a wall on the way over there.
He'll slide on the floor and bump into a wall and spill the wine everywhere. Maybe, it's better he not get involved then.
Yeah. It's safer for everyone. Lil Link will be home in about 30 minutes. He can clean up the mess that is the broken pieces of my psyche.
So what I missed. I have not been on Twitter for the last 3 days because I've had my cousins living with me. What's happened? Why are you failing in the world of Twitter so badly?
So my Twitter issue, anytime I've tried to reply to someone on my phone, I click reply, and then I tweet, and then Fusion goes, ha ha, fail, and I go, what the fuck? And it didn't actually, like, do the end. Elon just showed up with the wine bottle.
Good job, Elon.
Oh my god, this is fucking great.
I'm gonna give him a gold star. Give him a
was
gold
so
star
beautiful.
for me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for leaving the spout so I don't spill it everywhere. That is the funniest fucking thing that could have possibly happened. Yeah, so then Fusion was like, what is it? And I go and look, and it didn't actually, like, do the reply to somebody. So I just, like, tweeted some random nonsense that makes no sense.
Like,
and it's not directed at anybody. It's just, like, hanging out in the Twitter sphere.
Like, no, you're a stinky head. Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
It'd be like following a 5-year-old on Twitter.
That's
then
really
that's what I'm
kind of
imagining.
what it looks like. So
before you
I
type
shouldn't
it,
tweet
you
from
still
my
see the
phone
clearly the
anymore,
at
'cause
something
obviously
symbol
something's not working
in the tweet.
correctly. I feel like I clearly saw it, but I don't feel like it could have disappeared, so I don't fucking know. I have no explanation for this.
Twitter's out to get you.
It is. It probably is.
It's going to get you in your sleep. It's become self-aware. It's the new Skynet.
Yeah, there we go.
We're doomed. We all thought it was going to be
Twitter
Facebook,
on my
but
particular
it's...
phone has become the new Skynet.
It's gonna go back in time and remake Terminator.
Excuse me. That's what happens when you chug a bunch of wine.
Ken!
Chug,
Give
chug. You know how you really make me want some wine right now? I don't have any.
Because why don't you have any?
Yeah, I'm tempted to send him a
Again!
text message. He's not here right now. He's out partying. I was invited to go. I'm like, no, I've not been on the podcast in like 3 weeks, and these assholes have like had the podcast on Tuesdays when I'm working, so I'm not going to miss another one. So I'm sorry, you go party without me. I'm going to be on my podcast, damn it.
So you're saying you have time to record?
I do, yeah.
So I've been sending you messages like all last
I know.
weekend. Like,
You told me you were going to pester me,
Are you gonna
and
record?
I'm
Are
like,
you gonna record?
at least he's keeping true to his word.
Yeah, exactly. Are you gonna record?
And I actually made Ken watch the final product of that, me and you commenting on Pony Anthology Part 1, and he was thoroughly entertained.
Well, it's
It
kind
was
of
a
like
lot
a thing
better
on
than I
both.
thought it
Like,
was
if
going
he
to be.
thought it was awful, that would have been bad on him,
Thank you.
too.
That was
Reviews part
a backhanded compliment, I'll admit. Well, I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be drunk and I'm going to be commenting on pony videos. This is going to
No.
be kind of lame, probably,
Oh,
but it actually
I was
wasn't.
just making sure you weren't making a comment about my editing skills.
No.
Okay,
nah.
good. Because I
What
could have
editing?
added so much dubstep and just Mountain Dew PNGs like I did with that other video.
Yeah, then I would have been like, you know what, we're done. This relationship is over with Webwave. I can't do another one of these with you. Sorry. You're going to have to find someone new, take over for me.
I imagine that Christian Bale rant where he goes like, "You and me, we're fucking done professionally," and then you just walk
why would
off.
you do that
and
to
I'd
poor
be so
Woodwave?
sad.
Mm-hmm. Just leave you there to wallow.
I'd find someone else. I know.
Because he would
I
deserve
have
it.
feelings too.
I'm on team.
Anyone
Dark for
listening
this one.
immediately has
How
to
dare
make
you.
a Twilight version of
I'm
Poster
feeling. I
with
came out to
Dark,
have
and
fun,
it just
and I'm
has
feeling
Team Dark
really
on it.
attacked right now.
Yes, do it. I
would
will
like-
have my own army.
I would like to point out that part of my problem is I
jeez.
told you I'm drinking wine right now. The bottle's almost empty, but it's not a regular size bottle. It's a 1.5 liter size bottle.
Those are the
so-
best bottles.
I know, right? Especially when it's $10 and it's actually good wine and not like this might be wine or it might be grape juice that someone poured cheap vodka into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and because it's such a pain in the ass when you're like sitting here, say for this podcast, and you go through an entire small bottle of wine, or one of the regular ones, and you're like, God damn it, I've got the headset on, and I'm going to make all sorts of noise if I go to the kitchen and go open another bottle. So I guess I'm just going to have to sober up for the second half of this podcast.
Oh, well, not his
so...
new microphone. His Razer
have
headset,
a
he could
big
just
mute
pinch
button
the
on your
end of it
microphone?
and then
I don't
walk
know.
away.
I don't know how to use
but
this thing. It's scary.
He's got a snowball.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
blue
there's-
snowball, it's got this red light that constantly looks at me
I
as
know,
I'm
it's kinda
talking
freaky.
into it.
I
I'm
would
like,
assume there's a mute button on there somewhere.
Guys, I now have a bottle of vodka up here. Too.
No, you don't tell him to bring
Oh,
it.
you
You have to
guys
complain
alcohol
about your
was
lack
before.
of cheese pizza,
should
and
tell him to bring
then
you a
it'll
cheese
suddenly
pizza.
appear in your room.
oh my
I
god,
do
that
not
would be
need a cheese
epic.
pizza.
That's how it works.
God,
Okay.
no. No,
If Elon can produce a cheese pizza out of thin air, he needs to come over to my house, and I'll complain about.
The next time he crashes while driving home, you can pick him up, and he can stay at your place, and he can get you a cheese pizza.
Sure, it's a quick 11-hour drive over there, no problem.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No problem at all.
Oh my god.
Now we're getting back to the whole weather thing right now.
Fuck
You got me thinking about my grandmother. She just had her, I don't know if it was one or both of her knees replaced. I think it was one of her knees replaced. And apparently those
Cold as a
surgeries
bitch
have
on
really
replaced
quick...
joints.
And apparently, there's a really quick recovery time for those. So when I last visited her I guess it was last year now. Last year, she was saying, I'm either going to go spend some time with my sister in Arkansas, or I'm going to get my knee replaced. But now she's like, I've done have my knee replaced, and it sucks up here. I'm not about to be snowed into this house for 6 months, so I'm leaving. Peace.
Yeah.
So she not only got her knee replaced, but she's getting on a plane and flying the hell out of there because
God.
she's not dealing with this winter. I'm like, you go, you grandma, you go.
I don't blame her. Fucking, this winter's terrible.
Why
Yeah,
is
so
cold bad on replacement joints?
Because
Because it's physics. They are so affected by the temperature changes. They're not well insulated enough by your body that they will shrink and expand. Not so much the expansion in the summer, but like the cold. I think once it gets down to like 30 degrees, it's just constant pain because it like contracts and pulls. So it's awesome. One of my coworkers at the physics lab I used to work at, she had her hip replaced, and she did it in like September. And then she had finished her recovery, and then it got cold as fuck, and she was limping around just as bad as before she got her hip replaced because it was just so cold. It just couldn't do what it needed to do.
Yeah, and I kind of can relate to that, but also don't understand it. Like right now, I've got my heat cranked up a little bit more than normal. Normally I keep it like 70 degrees in my house, and out with the temperature outside, it feels fine. But once it gets to about 42 and under, it doesn't matter how warm I have my house set, I always feel cold on the inside, and I have no idea why. It's the freakiest thing. Never used to happen to me.
Socks?
I am. I'm wearing socks,
Okay.
and I'm wearing pajama things that are covering my body, and I still feel cold on the inside. I'm like, yeah, this is weird. It's really
Are
weird.
you sleepy?
No.
No.
I told you. I had three caffeinated acetaminophen thing tablets for my migraine that I no longer have, so I'm not the least bit sleepy.
Well, there goes my theory. I was just
Are
saying-
you gonna be like still awake until like 6 a.m. or whatever Ken gets up, and then you're gonna be like, okay, time for me to go.
Pretty much. I mean, like, oh,
Just
good morning, babe. Have a good day at work. I'm gonna pass out now before I have to go to work, which is all right. I don't work until the
Oh, you have to go to work tomorrow?
yeah.
Oh no.
It's okay. I don't work the day after tomorrow, so it's like I go in for like a shift, and then I have the next day free. So it's like a Friday. Tomorrow's like a Friday.
It's probably.
Okay.
I find it's easier to stay up like all night and then go through the day than it is to get like 3 hours of sleep and wake up tired.
See, because your body has time to get pissed at you for depriving it of sleep. So if you just don't give it that opportunity, then it's easier.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's been times when it's been like, well, if I go to sleep now, I'm gonna be really tired. But can I stay awake that like a little bit of hours before I actually have to go back to work or something?
Yeah,
like
I go
that.
through the same thing where it's like, if I go to sleep now, I'll have 2 hours of rest. I might as well just stay up and just tough it out with
And
enough
then-
coffee.
And when you've stayed up that long, you get that really cool, like, I don't know how even
Second
to
wind.
describe the sensation, but yeah, you kind of get the second wind, but nothing feels real. So it's like you're just drifting through the day, and whatever it is you're supposed to do, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
your body thinks you're supposed to be awake at that time, but it's not used to not having the sleep
so
behind
you're like,
it.
oh yeah, everything's really cool. I don't even feel like myself right now. You need me to do what? Okay, consider it done. If you see me standing there staring at the ceiling for whatever reason, just push me in the right direction and remind me what I'm supposed to do. I'm really okay. Does that not
Yeah.
happen to anybody else? 'Cause that
No,
totally
I know
happens to me.
exactly what you're talking about. Where it's like,
That's happened when I had to like stay up late for like school projects and all sorts of stuff for college. It was sometimes I'd just be like, I'm don't even know what's happening. Am I in a lecture?
So I feel like a little kid again. You know how you'll see like a little kid sit there and stare intently at something that has absolutely no meaning or value whatsoever, but they're just focused on it like it's the most important thing in the world?
Like everybody at a modern art museum?
Yeah. And you're like, what are they looking at? I don't understand. I kind of get that way when I have not had enough sleep and I've been up for over 24 hours. I just will kind of stop and else something will catch my eye. It could be like a weird shaped blade of grass or a chain link fence that's been bent a little bit. And I'll just kind of sit there and stare at it for a while. And then I'm like, that is so cool. I have no idea why I find this so fascinating, but I want to stand here and stare at it.
Your brain's like taking a nap while your eyes are open. And you're just like, where the fuck am I?
But you do catch yourself doing this? Like, you're like, wait, what have I been doing for the last 30 minutes?
I've lost some time, and I'll realize, what the fuck just happened? I've been sitting here staring at this wall for the last 10 minutes.
Has Ken caught you doing something like that? Like, you just been staring at a wall or something?
No, because if I'm at home, and then I just let myself, like, lay down and I'll fall asleep or something. But if I'm up working or doing something where I can't actually fall asleep when I'm that sleep-deprived, then I get that way. And so other people are like, what's going on with you? Are you okay? I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. I just have not slept. Just, if you see me doing this, just wave your hand in front of me or something. Get my attention. I'm attracted to motion, so you'll snap me out of it.
You're like a T-Rex, you only see stuff that moves.
Hey, that is not true.
It's true in Jurassic Park.
I think you're more like a cat, is what I've learned from this. Is like, you started out talking about kids. I'm thinking you're like a cat. It's just you pick some random area, you're just staring at it. You'll just randomly fall asleep and then go back to staring at it, and you only notice if someone makes a rapid movement.
Oh my god.
You're a fucking cat.
Suddenly it all makes sense.
Quick, someone grab a laser pointer.
I will chase that fucking thing till I can't move.
Oh, goodness.
And with that wonderful mental image that I just gave myself, we have surpassed the hour mark, so it's time to say goodnight, everybody. I think, right? Yes?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to stop.
No, everyone should have just left him talking alone. I was hoping.
That would've been great,
Sorry.
Right?
I don't want to be left alone
Guys?
here. Please, for the love of God, don't leave me here with these strange people on the internet. But God,
you don't like our lovely Twitch chat that was attended?
I don't have
See?
Twitch pulled up right now, so I don't know what's going on in there.
Oh,
They're saying vulgar things right now.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's all sorts of nonsense.
They've called you a monster.
That Tejan Lee has said 50 things in the past minute.
I stopped paying.
Anyway.
I stopped paying attention to the chat.
Why isn't Tejan Lee on here? I wanted to talk about that whole Smash thing he was doing, and he's not here to actually talk about it. So
he actually just popped into the chat.
You know what? Fuck him.
Oh, okay.
It's too late now. It's too late now.
Whatever floats your boat.
Screw you, Tejan Lee. We're signing off for the night.
Well, I can tell you that we recorded the last of it yesterday.
No, we're not talking about it.
So,
remember?
Oh, okay, fine.
Just to spite him.
I thought you were genuinely interested.
I was, but we're spiting him now.
Okay.
Spite, motherfucker!
Spite! Goddamn motherfucking spite! And I left my little page with all the links, so I can't tell people where to go to get more of us. We've got,
Twitter, at the forum thread, SoundCloud, the forum thread, Facebook, the forum thread, YouTube, the forum thread, TFT Plays, TFT Productions, that's who we are, that's who we will be.
I'm really surprised the forum thread was never taken on Facebook, Twitter, and those other things.
It's because
it's a term that you would think you would have heard a lot, but
can we make a YouTube channel called Blue Co and just see if that's taken?
You know what? You knock yourself out, Webwave. Make as many YouTube channels as you want.
After we're done, why don't you go see if Blue Fire 132 is taken on YouTube, and if it's not, you can go ahead
That would be great.
and create your own profile there.
Oh, though we take the Blue Fire YouTube page and we just record a stream, make a kind of GIF of him dancing, William. That's the only video that's ever posted, just him moving back and forth.
It would get 5 million views in one day.
So basically, every form of social media, just type in the forum thread. Also we also have TFT Plays. Like Dark said, the The TFT Smash has been very entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, except I'm not winning. I would totally win.
I can't help it if I kicked your ass in the first round. You know, I'm sorry.
I know.
Spoiler alert.
So unfair.
We're gonna. I hope the two of us make it to the end. We have Battle of the Cancer. It'll be great.
Battle of the Cancer. Okay, just I won't tell you winners and losers, but first 2 rounds have been posted. I mean, first 2 episodes of the first round have been posted on YouTube. Very entertaining. And then there's bonus. Episode 3 is a losers bracket, a battle royal.
I do a bit better in that one. I will say that much.
And I really suggest it because it's entertaining. And that's basically it.
Wonderfully said, Mr. Fusion. Wonderfully said.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know why I'm clapping.
All
right.
Everybody clap. One more thing I'm going to point out for the whole, this is all the places you can find us, and like here's how you find us, whatever. I would like to point out, if you just go to Google and you type in the forum thread with no spaces,
Yes.
it literally pops up every fucking thing we
Everything.
have.
Does it?
Yes,
because
I just tested it.
This quick story. My wife, her company opened up a location in Austin, and if you Google their information, it doesn't pop up for them. And I said, look, I'm going to show you what happens when I type in the forum thread. Boom, and everything popped up. I was like, oh, shit. Nice.
All planned.
Nice.
From
Like
day
the
one.
internet
We
knows
didn't
who
even
we
have
are.
to pay for that.
That's because
Thanks,
we've got
Google.
terrific PR. That's what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it, folks. Listen, subscribe, download.
That's
And I'm
old.
still working on the iTunes thing. I haven't had time because
iTunes is being an hours.
Well, I've been preoccupied the last few weeks, but I'm going to work on that again. So hopefully we'll have every episode on iTunes soon.
Preoccupied.
Just in time for
Preoccupied
iTunes
with
to
having
no
cant
longer
open.
let me listen to podcasts, but that's
Exactly.
That's a story for another time.